depressed again this morning, so things are back to normal. Didn't have a very good open mic experience yesterday. I was not connecting to what I was saying, wasn't prepared. But I do think I have to talk about depression more on stage so that I can bring everyone else down with me. That really is my goal in life now. Also very tired. Tired of living, afraid of dying. Which I think is from the Molly Brown musical. Also just watched the new Robert Redford, Jane Fonda movie. That took place in Colorado. It's about two older people who she invites him to just, they're neighbors, and she invites him to just sleep in his bed. Not to have sex, but just to sleep in his bed, just so they won't be alone. And it was an interesting film to watch while alone in bed. Although you could say I was in bed with Robert Redford and Jane Fonda. I was alone, dreadfully alone, and watching this film, which was marvelously well acted. Although I noticed that it did take place in Colorado, and everyone in the movie was white, so they really did their research. That's what I found. It really just, halfway through, I was like, these people are all Trump voters, aren't they? Not that all white people are Trump voters, but, well, if the New Balance shoe fits. But I was very impressed with the acting in the movie, and the movie was about how just because you get old, that doesn't mean you don't stop lying next to someone and talking about your problems. You look for that. That's what you find. And if you find someone like that, you hold on to them tight, but not too tight, because this is not about sex. At least until the second act of the movie. Now, this is about something else. Something deeper. Something deeper. Robert Redford was great in it. Sean Connery would have been good too, although it would have been more of an action film. Over to sleep in your bed. May as well have given it to the Marx Brothers. Mr. Connery, that line is not in the film. I'm saying it anyway. I'm Sean Connery. I don't want to get too much into doing an impression of Sean Connery. A, because I cannot, and B, because it's something Eddie Izzard does. I think it's Izzard. I hope it's pronounced Izzard. I hope I'm not mispronouncing his name. God forbid he should listen to this and go, oh, he's going to do a Sean Connery impression, and he can't pronounce his name. Ugh, bah. Now I'm speaking Klingon. Did also watch an episode of Star Trek The Next Generation. I've been watching the Klingon episodes of Star Trek The Next Generation. I always go back and enjoy watching those. I like the Klingons. I enjoy the much talk of honor. There's honor with honor. It's about honor. It is about honor. It's about honor. And yet they use cloaking technology. Interesting. Also discussing at length with somebody whether or not Star Trek Discovery is a good show. And I know it has a divided reaction among fans, because it is not, well, as somebody said, and one of the writers said, this is not your father's Star Trek. That's true, it is not. First and foremost, the secondary hull of the Discovery is triangular, and I don't know how they got away with that. That's just not right. It is not right. This is not a Star Destroyer, for God's sake. Secondary hull should be curved. That's my view. That's the way it is. That's the way it always was. That's the way it should be. Secondary hull curved. You can taper, like the secondary hull in the Star Trek The Next Generation Enterprise D. That's tapering is fine, but still there must be roundness. Somebody who lives next door to me has a parrot who's screaming right now. I don't know what the parrot is screaming about. I imagine it has something to do with wanting to be free and to fly. Or the parrot is not impressed with the latest JFK files that have been released. Apparently no one else is impressed with the release of these files either. There are some files that were kept to protect national security. At this point, what national security? I feel like we've been hacked and everyone knows everything about us. There is no more national security. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if the very same Kennedy papers, or the certain papers that they redacted, I wouldn't be surprised if they're out there right now on Wikipedia, ready to go. And now everyone's talking, and then that's the other thing I'm seeing in the news. Well, Trump is releasing these JFK files so that he and Congress can go do something secret that we're not paying attention to. It's not a secret. They want to pass tax reform, which, according to at least some of the headlines I read, means the middle class is going to hurt. Everything that is happening lately is going to hurt the middle class. That's really the moral of every single article I've read. Everything that's happening is going to hurt the middle class. Same thing with Obama. Everything that was happening was going to hurt the middle class. The middle class is in danger. The middle class is in jeopardy. That's what every newspaper is saying. And I hear that over and over again, and I just keep thinking to myself, what middle class? I feel like the three classes are totally screwed, poor, and Bill Gates. And everything else is fiction at this point. But this is getting to be depressing. And what am I saying? I'm chronically depressed. Why would the podcast I would be doing be happy? That would be a lie. That would be a total lie. This is not a lie. My voice is gravelly right now because I've just woken up. I'm having a hard time waking up. First article I read on CNN is how sugar might be linked to cancer. So the good news is I'm not eating sugar anymore. And the bad news is if I still get cancer and I have not eaten sugar for all the years before leading up to getting cancer, Joshy gonna be pissed. Heads are gonna roll. Heads are gonna roll. Probably came from the expression probably came from the guillotine, I would imagine. Heads are gonna roll. Boy, if you don't do something about this, heads are gonna roll. Which sounds very informal. I'm wondering when it was first used, because I always imagine that the king or the queen or whoever is, ordering the guillotine says, off with his head. His head will come off at noon. How do we get from that? From heads will roll. If Derek finds out about this in HR, heads will roll. Tell me about it. There's going to be multiple executions. Heads will roll. Heads will roll. If Derek finds out about this, needles will be injected. That's all I'm saying. If Derek finds out about this, electricity will be pumped into the body. That one doesn't. It's not as fun. That's not going to become a catch. It's not going to become a. Is it the term euphemism? It's not going to become a common phrase. If Derek finds out about this, electrocution will happen a lot. See, that doesn't. Yeah, that's awkward. Although I would like to coin awkward euphemisms. That would be fun. A pot that you look at a lot tends not to boil as quickly as a pot that you don't look at, because how we process time is interesting. That's my first one. I'll throw that out there. A bird that is in my hand is not as productive as a bird that is not in my hand, and therefore there is less moss that is gathered because of the lack of productivity of said bird who is in my hand. The question is the bird in my hand willingly? Is it choosing to be in my hand? Is it taking a rest? Is it on vacation? Is it saying to himself, I'm going to stand here on this hand? Or is the bird, have I caught the bird? Am I holding the bird in my hand? In which case, amazing that I can catch a bird. I did not think I had that ability unless we're talking about one of the pigeons in Los Angeles, which I feel like I could catch if I wanted to, but I don't want to. Neither does anything else.